Okay, so some work that you can do on opening up and releasing your hips. I'm someone that definitely struggles from tight hips, and it can restrict your movement and just cause pain. So I'll find that I get a lot of tightness around one side. Generally it is affected by the way I'm stood. So I'm somebody who tends to stand with one foot out. I tend to drop into my hip a little bit. Okay, so firstly, obviously posture is good. But if you're in that place where you've got that tightness, what can you do? So these are just some simple movements that you can use in day-to-day life. So starting with your feet just hip distance apart, make sure they're facing forward, and a little push to the side each way. So I'm actually bringing my heel up and I'm driving my hip out to the side. So if I come side on, you'll see that my bum does stick out as I do it, and I'm a little bit uneven. So you might notice I've got more movement on one side than the other. So this is my tight side, and I find I have to work a little bit harder to get that stretch. So really thinking about what you feel in your body as you're doing so. Okay, and taking a bit of time over it. Then hip circles. So really focusing again on pushing out to the side as you circle. So I'm driving my hip back into that tight area. Making sure when you do those hip circles that you go both ways. So the knees are soft, you've got your feet connected, so make sure big toes, little toes and heels stay down the whole time whilst you're doing these. So those are again quite a nice simple exercise that you can do. Now I quite like this movement. You can use a band. I'm going to show you without, just in case you haven't got one, so you can be equipment free here. So you're going to have the first foot, back foot is going to stay parallel. You're going to step forward, turn this foot in. Okay, so it's on a diagonal. And we're going to bring the arms up and over, reach down towards the floor. So you'll get this stretch coming up, 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 up. And then bringing yourself back and step back. So it's turn the foot in, drive yourself over. Again, all the toes stay connected and coming back up. I'm just going to switch to the other side. So turn the foot in and come over. So it's this front leg here that is getting that stretch. Coming back up. Watch your balance. So turn the foot in, coming up and over. And coming back up again. And then hip circles stood on one leg, always a really good one. So I know that if I'm going to be doing quite a lot of work in Pilates and I need to work on releasing my hips, this does a trick for me. So holding on to something can be useful, you don't have to, and circling around. So think about increasing this range of movement, but only working within the limits of your body. So if your hip is clicking or clunking, make those movements smaller until you've warmed it up. So it's all about warming up and releasing in that area. But you're thinking about literally, you're circling from the hip, so it's not the knee or the ankle. You want to come out to the side. That foot on the floor, it stays connected through the big toe and the little toe. Don't let those toes lift up, and make sure you go both directions. So you could be holding on to something, or you can stay in that balanced position, which means you get some core work as well. Another couple for you, so coming down to the floor for this one, having your feet facing forward, hands behind you, and then a little drop of the leg in. I love this one. We're just going side to side, but I get that nice release through here. Side to side, stretch, and stretch. And because we're not holding it, we're going side to side, you can get that little bit more mobility work in there. And then one that always helps is a little bit of your pigeon. So bring your foot out, drop the knee down, bring yourself forward. So although it might be your hip that's got the pain or the restriction, getting into those glutes is also highly beneficial. So just holding, you can do a little rock from side to side and just find exactly where is it that is tight. Basically for me it's the whole of my right glute is tight. I need a bit of a swanky ball or a massage in there. Once again, making sure that you do both sides. So even if one side is the more troublesome side, do make sure you stretch out both sides. So once again, you can do that rock or you can be holding it. Love a bit of this. Feels so good. Okay, and then I've got one more that's back up to standing. So this one is more for inner thighs, but once again, you're pushing your hips out. So as I push out, I feel that up the back here as well as in my inner thigh. So think about the whole of your body, you know, where are you feeling that? What is it working? What is it doing? So it's just moving side to side. If that's feeling okay, you can add a reach of the hand. So each time you reach, reaching, and that just adds that extra movement in. Now for me, that gives me more inner thigh, and I want to work more into the back of my hip, so I'm actually going to come back here. So once again, it's that whole thing of listening to the body and deciding what is it that's going to work for you. I know I said that's the last one, I lied. Feet come back into parallel, arms come up. So you're like a torpedo. Then you're going to lean to the side, push your hip the other way, and coming up. So breathe out as you come up. Let's push, push, push the hip to the side, breathe out, up to the top. Again, all the toes are staying connected. Breathe out as you come up. So this will also get into QL, muscle that wraps around the rib cage area, which can be really tight and be contributing to those problems. And up to the top. So, try those out. If you've got any pain or restrictions in your hips, then hopefully they'll help. But let me know how you get on. Thanks so much for watching.